Just remember that this is a process and lean into that, because if you try to fight it or force it, it's going to make it so much harder. Hey y'all, it's Taylor from Tattooed Teacher Plans. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. Today is video 3, actually 4, but we're calling it 3 in my series, and this is the final video. This is like the culmination of all of the work that I have been doing in terms of 2025 goal prep work. And this is where it gets like exciting, because everything just kind of comes together. I'm excited to share my process, but I also want to make it very clear, like I have in the other videos, I'm not an expert. I have no training in this. I have just had experience doing it myself and my way. So if it is helpful, I'm very, very glad that it is. But this is just my process. So take what you want from it. If it's just entertainment for you, that's great as well. But if you want to grab any ideas, feel free. Tag me so I can see them, because I love to see you guys taking something that works for you, and like I like to see what actually you find that works for you. So what we're going to be doing today is annual goals. I'm going to be showing you my process. We're going to actually be writing them in my planner. So what I have here today, of course, I've got cat hair everywhere. Maybe you saw the little cameo of Teddy in the last video. He definitely wanted to make an appearance. Okay, so I've got my planner. My 2025 makselife planner. I've got my Moxie markers. You can use mild liners or any kind of markers or pencils, however you want to do it. I just like to add a little bit of color because it makes it visually appealing and makes me want to use it more. I've also got my favorite pen, Zebra Sarasa clip in 0.7. Got this at Jet Pens. I'll leave the link down below. It's my absolute favorite. And then I've got my prep work here, and I've also got my annual goals toolkit. We're going to talk about this as well. Okay, so let's talk about my process. Put that off to the side. Okay, as you can see here, have 3 different versions of my prep work. So these are the printables from makselife. You can get these on their website. We've got a little kitty bite taken out of the edge there, but that's fine. Okay, so this was my first version. This one is the messiest, obviously, because it is fully like brainstorming, brain dumping. This prep work worked alongside the annual goals toolkit. So I've talked about this in the first video that we did in this series. So I defined my values. We've got some goal setting quick tips, which I really like those. This is what really, really helped me with this messy process. So these are lists of questions for each category to help you think about what you want to do with your goals for the next year. It also comes with these little worksheets. I didn't use these because I've kind of done the process a few times, but I think these could definitely be very helpful for beginners. These questions were just really helpful. They just highlighted what I really want to focus on in the next year and kept me on the right track. So in each category, you can kind of be like, well, what does this category really mean? Or what am I really looking for this specific category? And these questions just kind of give you a straight up guide of where to go. And having done this since 2019, this is still incredibly helpful. And I think that these are super valuable in your process. So I highly recommend these. The annual toolkits, you only do that once a year, and it's just super helpful. I still need to do my AM and PM routines, but I've done pretty much everything else in here. I've done my perpetual calendar, so I really like this, and these questions were just, I put them side by side and went through every category, and this is the result of answering the questions and brainstorming. So let's start with version 1. So as you can see, super, super messy. But what I did was I just made a list for each category first. Then I went back through again and started organizing them in ways that made sense to me. So everybody's goals are going to be different, obviously, and your process is going to be different. Your setup is going to be different. Again, I'm just showing you what I do. But for me, this is super helpful because this gives me like no pressure. I can go through it multiple times. I can organize it however I want. I did this in pencil because then I can really get messy in here and move things around however I want. But I went through this specific version multiple times in figuring out how I want to organize everything. So as you see, as I go through these, I start to come up with categories for each section of my goals. And just, I like to see that because then it just makes total sense to me and it kind of breaks it down further. So I think this process is super helpful. Is it easy? No. It's very hard at first because you're like, oh, this is daunting. What do I even do? But if you go through it multiple times, then it's not quite so scary. So this was the first version. Then I came up with the second version, which is this. Again, a little messy, but I started to take this. So let's just look at personal, for example. I started to take this mess and then organize it. So I came up with 3 categories. Here are my 3 categories. And then I started to assign things to those categories. So I knew I wanted to include my values in personal, which came straight from my annual goals kit. I love this. This is super helpful. But then I also had self-care and fulfillment in here as well. So for each of these, I kind of highlighted 2 main categories and then broke it down from there. Some categories have 3, but for the most part, they have 2. Now you can totally make a list of things. You do not have to do like little webs or anything like I do. You can do it however you want. There are no rules to this. So you can see I took this, I came up with support and learning, and then I just kind of highlighted what would go in each category. And then here's where I like actually made it happen. Here is family and relationships. So I knew I wanted to have these 3 categories, and then I assigned them here. And then here's where that came together. So here is health and wellness. This is a category that I have struggled with for the past few years, but I really wanted to focus on all sides of my health. So I wrote here, even when I was making this list, physical and mental / emotional, like I wanted to include both sides of it. But then you also see like exercises over here as well. So I just kind of wanted to really break this one down. So you see lots of different things in this category, but this is a heavy category for me in terms of like, it's something I need to work on. And then I have a stretch goal here and a stretch goal here. You're not going to have very many stretch goals. You may have 1 to 3, but these are things that I want to work on over the next decade. So managing my anxiety, guiding principles, like actually figuring out what my guiding principles are. And then my third one is celebrate life. So this one, I wanted to have 2 categories, do and explore different things. So explore my guiding principles. And these are 3 that I kind of highlighted, but I want to see where I'll go from there. And then here is financial and physical environment. So it got a little bit easier as I went through, but I did the same process for each category. So you can see I came up with the 2 categories and then I put them into those categories. This just kind of like makes sense to my brain. So do whatever your brain likes. But I really like this. Okay, then the third iteration of this. So this took the most work. This one was just putting everything together. And then 3 is actually figuring out what I want it to look like. And I really played with that with this one. So there's no consistency with this besides like the little webs and stuff. But I kind of played around with it to see what I like. So this is what the closest to what it's actually going to look like. So we've got personal, fun and recreation. So you can see it's kind of cleaned up a little bit. I've kind of not combined things, but just kind of made it a little bit more clear. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to work off of when we get to my actual planner. This is always like kind of a scary thing to do. Not scary. It's just like I don't want to mess up. But you're probably going to. So I have my Tombow tape here, which always comes in handy. But this is always like, this is official. We're actually writing in the planner, which can be a little bit of a scary process, but try not to get too wrapped up in that. These goals are a work in progress. I often add things to my goals as I go, as the year goes on. So like think of these as a living document versus like these are set in stone. You can always change things, you can take away things, you can mark things off, you can do whatever you want with your goals. These are yours. So now it's time to actually get into writing in the planner. So I did put a notepad under here because this coil is so large and in charge that I kind of need it. I might need another one actually, just to help support my hand, because otherwise it just feels very awkward. Let's try one more just to get that coil down a little bit. There we go. Okay, that should help a little bit. Okay, are we ready to go? I have all the work done. I just need to put it in the planner, but this seems like I don't know, it's just a weird thing to like be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm committing to these goals, but we're doing it. Okay, so we're going to start with personal, of course. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so you can see, but I'm just taking this information, putting it here. I might do some little changes here and there, but no big changes. The big changes happen in the first and second version. Don't be afraid to be messy in your rough drafts. It's a valuable process. For the personal category, my focus is, and this is formed in a question, how can I best take care of myself? I chose questions this year instead of words or phrases because I wanted to dig just a little bit deeper with my focus. And so I think that's really going to help me. And it's going to tie in with my mind map that we worked on last week. I love the question format that I'm kind of going in that direction just because it's like, I don't know, it's a little bit more elevated than what I was doing last year. And I'm always trying to find things that work better and better for me. So in terms of my actual goals, I have 3 different categories here. We've got fulfillment, defining my values, and self-care. Under fulfillment, I have my hobbies and time outside, along with self-image and esteem. I like that all 3 of those are just kind of like different things, but all of them kind of give me fulfillment in different ways. In my values, I wanted to list them here because they're important to me and I want to see them as much as possible, and especially see them when I'm working on my monthly goals. So my values are wellness, 2, family, 3, personal growth, 4, community, and 5, discipline. And then under self-care, I've got just things that make me feel good. Things like skincare, nails, haircuts and color, and giving myself grace. So how will my life improve by reaching these personal goals? I will be taking care of myself. I will also have outlets for creativity. Okay, now we're going to take my Moxie markers and we're just going to add a little bit of color to this. Nothing crazy, but just a little bit to add some interest for me when I come and work on my goals. It's still kind of hard to write on the coil. It's just so big. I think once I have a few months down, it'll be a little easier to write on the middle over here. And I already forgot a little section here, so let me do this real quick. Okay, next category we have is fun and recreation. My focus is how can I live life to the fullest? So I have 2 categories for this one. I have time off and joy. So under time off, I have adventure, vacations, car camping, and no days. I started car camping last year. I have all the things that I need to do it, and I loved it, but I only got to go out once last year. This year, I want to do way more. And no days come from makselife. I love this idea of just taking a day and doing nothing, but just things that you enjoy. So under joy, I have time with friends, seasonal living, and monthly family get-togethers. And then I also have a stretch goal for this one, which is celebrate life. And then how will my life improve by reaching these fun and recreation goals? I will broaden my horizons and reduce my stress. Let's move on to work and learning. This has been a challenging category for me in the past year or so, but I'm hoping that my goals for this year will help me make some progress here. So my focus for work and learning, how do I fulfill my purpose? 2 categories, support and learning. Under support, I want to create more community have healthy boundaries, have a heart of service, and do more one-on-one coaching. And then under learning, I want to do more reading, continuing ed, and manage my media consumption. I have really been seeing the negative effects of too much or the wrong type of media, and I'm just really want to take a step back from that. And how will my life improve by reaching these work and learning goals? I will fulfill my need to be of service and contribute in a positive way at school. For family and relationships, my focus is how can I connect with my loved ones on a deeper level? I have 3 categories for this one: activities, connections, and boundaries. So under activities, I really want to focus on holidays and monthly family dinners. And then under connection, I want individual time with my nephews and group time with them, time with my sister Callie, and time with friends. And then under boundaries, I want to vocalize those more and in a better way, and I want to stand up for myself. So I will improve my life by reaching these goals by I will make memories and create traditions with those I love. Now we're going over to the second pages. Now, health and wellness is a category that I have struggled with, as I mentioned. So there's quite a few things on this particular section. So my focus, how can I improve my physical and mental health? So under physical, I have strength workouts 2 times a week, daily skincare, regular doctor's visits, balanced diet with animal protein 1 time a day, daily water intake. So I need to take care of my kidneys, but also I need to step it up a little bit in terms of physical health. Now, on the other side, mental health, I've got a stretch goal of managing my anxiety. And then under this one, we've got meds, quality sleep, meditation, and exercise. And how will my life improve by reaching these goals? I will feel better inside and out. For spiritual and personal growth, my focus is where do I want to invest my energy? And I have 2 categories for this one, do and explore. So under do, I have journal 1 time a week, reflection weekly, time in nature, daily gratitude. And then under explore, I want to explore this stretch goal of my guiding principles, and a few of them that I've already kind of thought about and want to explore more: openness, kindness, and community. And then how will my life improve by reaching these spiritual and personal growth goals? I will learn more about myself and where I'm headed. And for the last 2 categories, we have financial and physical environment. Hands getting a little tired here, but we're going to push through. For financial, my focus is how can I better manage my money now and for the future? So I have 2 categories here: manage my money and security and savings. So under manage my money, I want to control my spending, budget regularly, and keep track of my taxes throughout the year, and financial planning for the future. Under security and savings, I have save for my Europe trip, travel, build my savings with an automatic 10 to 20% of income, and have a 0 credit card balance each month. And how will my life improve by reaching these financial goals? I will have a healthy savings account while also living life now. And lastly, we have physical environment. So my focus here is how can I improve my home for me and others? So I have 2 categories: positive energy and improve my spaces. So under positive energy, I have comfort and give my cats their best life possible, and decorate for holidays and seasons. And then under improve my spaces, I have routines, specifically weekly, monthly, and daily, and then projects. And I have 2 specifically that I want to work on this next year: my guest bathroom and my yard. So how will my life improve by reaching these goals? I will create a better environment for myself, guests, and my cats. And that is it. So let's review what we did today. So we have annual goals ready to go for 2025. We've got personal. I really like how I listed these in here. It just kind of it's nice to have them right here in my goals so that I see them every month when I work on my monthly goals. Then we have fun and recreation. I've got a little stretch goal here. Not a little one, a big one. Got work and learning, family and relationships. My handwriting got a little bit bigger as we went on here. And then we've got health and wellness, 2 more stretch goals here. And then financial and physical environment. So I think this pairs, my mind map pairs really, really well with my annual goals. So each month when I sit down to work on my monthly goals, like for January, I'll be working on them at the end of December. I can look at my questions that I asked myself here in my mind map and then go straight over here to my personal goals. And with that in mind and having my goals here, I can create some really good goals for each month. Now I know if you just look at my goal prep work, you might think, oh, this looks really easy, but it's not. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point. So please, please don't get discouraged if you are just kind of hitting a wall with something. Take a step back, work on something else, or even just take a break and come back to it, because it is worth it. Like, the process is worth it. It can be a little daunting at times, but we're all here to support you. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave those down in the comments below. I would love to hear what you have in mind for your annual goals. Tell me about your process. I want to hear all the things, and I hope that we can have some really good conversations down there. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. I do monthly goal videos along with weekly actions and reflections. Share this video with somebody you think might like it or get something out of it, and turn on notifications if you want to be notified when I upload. And I will see you next time. Bye!